What is up, guys? GiantsTsunami01 here with another FIFA 18 tutorial, guys. And today we're going to be talking about the most important aspect of FIFA 18, and that is defending. This will be my advanced defending tutorial. Defending FIFA 18 is even more difficult than previous FIFAs. It requires a lot more manual input, so you can't get away with stuff that you could in previous FIFAs. So make sure to watch this to improve your game. But as always, make sure to subscribe if you have not done so already. I already have an attacking tutorial out, an advanced passing tutorial out. No matter your skill level, these tutorials will help you become a better player, so don't miss out. The first major tip I have for you guys is to make sure to stay back. Very, very important, especially with your center backs. Constantly be pushing them back and making sure that they're in their lanes. If you're playing with a 4-back formation, for example, there should be one center back in the left middle. The other center back should be in the right middle. Constantly make sure that they're between the attacker and the goal, and make sure they're in their lane. As you're seeing here with Thiago Silva, I'm pushing him back. A lot of the times the computer AI is going to lock onto an attacker and he's going to move and drift out of his lane, leaving a huge gap behind him. Very important that you quickly switch over to that player and push him back. Here you're seeing a situation where I see an opponent making a run, so quickly switch over to that center back. Don't count on the computer, especially in FIFA 18, to do it for you. Switch over to that center back and run and keep yourself in between that attacker and the goalkeeper. Very, very important. The next tip I have for you guys is to use your CDMs. That is who should be defending for you the majority of the game. It should not be your center backs. Again, you want to keep them in their position and back. The CDM is the one that you can use to apply a little bit of pressure, the one you can use to get into those passing lanes and to get into those shooting lanes. Of course, if your formation doesn't have any CDMs, just use your best defensive midfielder. So whoever has the best defensive stats out of your midfield, that is the person that you should be using most of the time. Jockey with him, keep him and in between the attacker and your center backs. Make sure that he's drifting over there. Try to apply a little bit of pressure, force them into taking bad passes, stuff like that. That's what you should be using your CDM with. Alright, now let's just go over some controls, show you exactly what things you need to know in order to defend properly in FIFA 18. The first one is to jockey. You jockey by holding the LT button or the L2 button. If you're on PlayStation, make sure you hold it down. Here you're going to see some examples. I get the player here, I'm jockeying, and what it does is it allows you to have more control and keep that attacker in front of you. That's the point of jockeying. You're better at changing direction. Otherwise, if you're just sprinting or running regularly, you're not going to be able to change direction very well, and you're not going to be able to keep those attackers in front of you. So in order to do that, you should be jockeying more often than not. Next up, guys, push and pull. The push and pull is done by pressing the B button and holding it. You want to hold the B button or the circle button if you're on PlayStation. Anytime you're close to the opponent and you want to take the ball away from him. This is the move you should be using anytime you're running right next to your opponent. As you're seeing here in this situation, I'm right next to my opponent. What you want to do is to take the ball away from him is push and pull. So you want to hold that B button or the circle button if you're on PlayStation. And then there's different factors that go into if you're actually going to be able to take the ball away from him. One of them is strength, one of them is momentum, position, and stuff like that. But more often than not, if you have good positioning and you have a good, strong player, you're going to be able to take the ball away from him, but don't hold on for too long because it could be a foul. The next move is the second man press, which is done by pressing the RB button or the R1 button if you're on PlayStation. What this move does is it calls over a second player. The closest computer AI player to the ball will come over to help. This is a great move to trick your opponent into thinking you're applying pressure with him while you're using another player to get into the passing lane and to bait him into doing a bad pass. Very important. Far too many people spam this all game long. That's not what you should be using this for. This should be used to trick your opponent into thinking that he's getting pressured, and then you're using another player to get into those passing lanes, to get into the shooting lanes, and try to anticipate what your opponent's going to do. Next up, we got the standing tackle, which is done by pressing the B button or the circle button if you're on PlayStation. So the standing tackle is something, again, you got to be quite advanced to do this. You got to be quite good with your timing. It's very, very risky. As you saw there, if you mess up, he's going to be completely out of the play and it's going to leave an opportunity for your opponent to do it. So make sure you're really close and make sure you're sure that it's going to actually work. Next, you want to press the X or the square button if you're on PlayStation to do the slide tackle. Again, just like the standing tackle, you got to be very, very careful when doing this. Don't abuse it. Make sure you're going to be able to be successful with it. And when you're doing the slide tackle, as you're seeing here, try to slide where the ball is going to be. Don't slide into the player, because if you slide into the player, more often than not, if you miss the ball, you're going to get a foul. It could be a red card, and that could really ruin your game. So try to anticipate where he's going to be and slide into that space to take the ball away from him. And if you do miss in that situation, well, then it won't be a foul. You're just going to completely miss. Next up, we got to clear the ball. You want to press and hold the B button or the circle button if you're on PlayStation. It is much better, especially for headers, to use the B button rather than just the passing button, because it's going to put more power into it. Don't worry about starting an attack yourself. Just clear the ball and regroup on defense when the ball is in a danger zone. Lastly, guys, I recommend to rush the keeper by pressing the Y button or the triangle button if you're on PlayStation. This is the best case scenario if your opponent gets past all your defenders and he's one-on-one against your goalkeeper. It is better to rush the keeper than to just keep him back there. A lot of people get a little bit anxious, get a little bit nervous, and mess up because the keeper is rushing at them and you don't have much time to react. But now let's get into the real meat of this tutorial, guys, to make you guys better defenders. And that is this image right here. I've been using this for the last couple years. Very, very useful. You want to divide the pitch into 3 sections. You can move this back a little bit farther out, but there's a blue zone, a yellow zone, and a red danger zone. So the blue zone, usually if the ball is in that area, if your opponent has the ball in that area, it is mostly going to be for a cross. If he has the ball in the yellow area, he's mostly either going to cross it or cut back in, do a skill move or something like that. And then if he has it in the red zone, that is where 90% of the goals, I would say, come from. That is the danger zone. That is where he's got an angle to actually score. So let's look at the blue zone first. If your opponent has the ball in the blue zone, as you're seeing in this situation, you do not need to follow him out there. There is no reason for you to follow him out there. He's not going to be able to score there. If you follow him out there, it's very easy for him to cut back inside if you're overplaying him and doing stuff like that. There's no need for that. If you see him in the blue zone, start jockeying and start preparing for the cutback, or switch over to a center back closer if you see that he has somebody he can cross to, so you're ready for that cross. If it comes in, you can clear it away. Now, if your opponent has the ball in the yellow zone, as you're seeing in this situation, what you want to do is you want to force him out. Make sure to protect that red zone. So stay in the red zone while he has the ball in the yellow zone and start jockeying and pushing him farther and farther away, making sure you stay between him and the goalkeeper. Lastly, if he has the ball in the danger zone, in that red zone, that is where he can actually score really badly. So again, you want to push him towards that yellow zone. So try to get in the way, try to jockey, try to push him into that yellow zone. Make him go into that yellow zone by occupying the space of the red zone. Don't overplay. Don't try to cut him off. Stay back. Drag back a little bit. Protect that red zone. That is where he's actually going to be able to score from. That is where he's going to be able to do a finesse shot, a regular shot, a power shot. Alright, now I'm just going to show you some examples of me combining all this into actual gameplay. Just me playing some defense here. You're seeing me, first thing I'm doing, I'm pushing my center back and I'm keeping him into my position. Then I'm switching over because, of course, you can't let the computer AI do most of the work. There's a couple mistakes right there with standing tackle. Way too much standing tackle, but I recovered and I made sure I knew I had to do that side tackle to take the ball away from him. Here, he's in a blue zone. Stay back. No need to follow him over there. Just stay back, protect, stay in that yellow zone, and prepare yourself for if he cuts back. Let him pass all he wants there. He's not going to do any damage. You protect against the red zone. That is where the damage is. He decides to cross it in. I clear the ball, and we're off to the races. But that is it, guys. I hope you guys liked this tutorial. If you did, please leave a like, comment, share with all your friends. Click on one of these boxes. Check out more of my tutorials. Got tutorials like everything in FIFA 18. My top 5 videos and my formation, guys. And don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future tutorials or tip videos. Thank you guys so much.